watching a video, well, like living a video game, because you know what to do and you learn how to do it. And it's good to see how other people have mastered abilities and using tools in ways that you never thought of. Where the guys had laid out all this barbed wire and it's a pain in the ass to clear. But if you have Thermite, he has this hammer and you can hammer holes in walls and breach and everything like real easy. But one hit and he clears this huge area. So those that play both games remember that. You know, the smallest thing gives you the smallest edge, and you know, that's what it was about back in the day. You know, only the strong survived, and women only mated with the ones that had the strongest genes. You know, you may have not looked like the greatest, but you had other things going for you genetically that she saw that you didn't even see, but she picked up on. It's in our genes. And it's an ancient behavior that goes back millennia. So, you know, trying to explain it would, you know, I'd probably be better off explaining the, you know, E equals MC square and making it sound like, you know, super duper easy. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was broadcast. Sometimes I forget. Well, don't set yourself on fire down. You don't want to freeze to death either, so you gotta find the right cave. And I don't think that's it. I think this one might be it. Yeah. Oh, down the poison, man. Get out, get out. Fuck, that wasn't good. sort of whiteout conditions. I can't even depend on my senses. So you got like 3 minutes out now. Says you got 10, but you got like 3 once you're out there. my headphones coming out. I got a nice set of Turtle Beach. Beautiful fucking headset. My cat chewed it into two places, the cord. I paid like $50 for them, man. Something like that. 49, 39, I don't know, 40, $50. I was not impressed, let me tell you. They were perfect. The microphone worked amazingly. The sound was just unreal. So if you're looking for a good set of headphones, I highly recommend Turtle Beach. They make some really good products. And I believe it came with a converter so that you can use it on your Xbox One as well as your PS4. I understand you want to have, like, you know, proprietary whatever, but headphones, you know, there's so many companies that make pretty decent headphones. Why not open it up to competition like that? You know, a few years ago, Turtle Beach, fuck, nobody knew who the fuck they were. I didn't even know who they were. I researched them. They seemed like they had some pretty good reviews. Woody who, you know, I bought a set. Of all places, from Shoppers Drug Mart. I cashed in so many points and got a huge discount. It ended up costing me about, I don't know, $15, $20. Something like that, stupid anyways, but it was a good deal. Like, where are you gonna get a nice set of Turtle Beach for that kind of thing? You know, it doesn't happen. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta throw caution to the wind and hope that, you know, it's what it says it is, it's honorable and not some fucking crook, you know, because there's no shortage of them around, you know, just be cautious. I think you gotta go in, get it, and get out. Let's just go in, open it, and get out. And then the next guy goes in. That's what I think. Fire. See what I got for first aid. This gives you 2 bars. Most of my guys only have 4, so, because that gives you like 6. Ultimate boost. Study the map for a minute whilst I put some water on for one last cup of coffee or a cup of tea. What time is it? 8:30. So, gonna get that mouse? I know you want to. That's why I'm letting you get him. So, get him. Show me that you can do it. Don't tell me. Show me. Excuse. Anybody can flap their gums and say yada yada yada. Very few can produce, so if you can produce, then maybe we got something to talk about. If you can't, then you know what? Keep trying. Keep trying, my son. Matched. So Ooga Booga needs cave bear, some rock, and some clay. And let's see where I am. I'm at 107. That's pretty good. My pack's pretty full. my water boiled. Sucks ever since my fucking burner blew. The other one doesn't work all the time, so it sucks having to boil water like this. The old-fashioned way, like hot on fucking red hot element for like 2.5 minutes, you know. Nowadays it's like, oh, I'll do it the old-fashioned way in the microwave. People are gonna be lost in the fucking... It happens, man. It's coming. It'll take us back at least 100 years. Hopefully more. And we'll develop better technology. Wind and solar. Nuclear fusion. Not just fission. I mean, if we could recreate the fusion that's going on inside our sun, you know, but in a completely safe environment. I mean, the implications for energy and hydrogen is like so ignored. Sorry. Had a bug on my throat. Some kind of ultra kush or something. Yeah, I don't want to go down there. But I don't know how to get the fuck over that. Burning it. See, it just goes out, man. That doesn't do jack shit. That doesn't do fuck all. I don't see anything. Oh no, I fall. I can't get up. Get out. Fuck. Where are the stones at, guys? Tonight's sound effects brought to you by
Hi. Do you talk?
Project 40 and Liberal stands behind their promise to introduce legislation by April 2017 towards the legalization of recreational use of marijuana and marijuana products. able to visit one of our main sponsors, which will be TRC, and it will represent the right choice, is pretty much what it is, TRC.
WTF.
And there will be another one put forth by my son, and just watch for it on the net. It's going to be big breaking news in the area of addiction, and how we need to change how it's being dealt with. We need to deal with it medically, and
Are you high?
As you would alcoholism and sex addiction and all these other shit. But if you smoke pot, then then you're beyond help. Like, it's just reefer madness all over again, and it's fucking stupid. It's repugnant. It's absolutely, it's beyond
Talk to Emmy,
ludicrous.
your fucking cochon dealer laugh. Pot smoking cunt, talk to Emmy.
And if you've never if you've never seen Reefer Madness, Google it and watch the whole thing. I'm telling you, seriously, it is absolutely absurd. It's propaganda that was put forth by the American government, which they loaded the House to make sure that it would pass, and it was just another attempt of bureaucracy, hiding behind some quack medical, the drug czar, and it's just, and now it's the same thing. Oh, there's an opiate epidemic, and I mean, yeah, what it's switched to is, instead of people
high,
doing
you dumb
heroin,
fuck, get at the
people are
cochon, you
discovering
pot sucking cunt dick fucker.
there is purer forms of the drugs out there. Namely hydrocodone and oxycodone. I mean, I take hydromorphone, which is, unbeknownst to them, it's even stronger. It's like one chain of one molecule different from heroin. I mean, it's as close to heroin as you can get. Heroin is dihydromorphone. I take hydromorphone. You know what I'm saying?
Pussy like in mother offer, get the fuck of the high, you cock fucker.
And it's just, I've got a plan, and I presented it to my son, and I know he wants something else, but I think that he needs to experience something bigger than him, and make some money, and then decide, which way to turn, and I think that's fair, if he decides it's not for him, that's cool, but, an investment of $5,000 is going to triple his money inside of a year, like, seriously. And then there's the referrals, and the mandatory counseling, and,
in reporting this video to you.To and Google, you cocksucker.
Insurance company or through the government. So I mean, you're guaranteed fucking money, and we're gonna boast like a 98% cure based on previous research, and it's gonna amaze people. It's not the magic pill that's going to get rid of the blight, but rather it's going to take the blight and it's going to change that blight one plant at a time. And, you know, and sometimes it's about little victories, and that's what it's going to be, is little victories, you know, one addict at a time. And he's going to tell 10 friends, and they're going to tell 10 friends, and it's going to grow exponentially. And I project within 5 years being the number one private drug treatment consortium that has you know, some big names behind them, and some big names that they helped, although they would not confirm nor deny any knowledge of specific guests when questioned. So, you know, I think, and if my son's smart, he'll jump on board. And I tried to tell him it's, you know, life is about karma, and you know, when you go out, the Egyptians used to believe that what you would do is you would weigh your life against the weight of the feather, and if it was even, you were allowed to live. If it was even or better, you were allowed to live. But if it was less, you died. And, you know, that's just the way that it worked. But, you know, there is some truth to that. It's, you know, if you sow negativity, for lack of a better term, negative energy into the world, you're going to get back negativity tenfold. And, you know, people need to learn that. And positivity pays off exponentially as well. And, you know, if people would just, you know, take it for what it's worth, and realize, you know, again, you know, open their fucking mind and shut their mouth, and, you know, they would be amazed at what they would learn. You know, and that's, I guess, the spirituality part of it, you know, that's coming through. And, you know, I try to talk to my son about, you know, lore, and I want him to understand his place in the universe, you know, as somebody, you know, connected to the planet by his heritage. And I'm still learning about it myself, so, you know, but it's something that I would like to explore with him, if he's interested. And I would love for him to be interested, you know. I really would. We were tough people, and, you know, our numbers are dwindling. Our dwindling away into the white man's world, and soon our heritage will be lost. And much like cursive, it's going to be the way of the dinosaur and the dodo bird. If we manage to survive, even another 2,000 years. Just think about that, Like the dinosaurs ruled for, 350 million fucking years. And they had all kinds of volcanic activity, releasing all kinds of toxics and CO2 and sulfates and sulfides into the atmosphere, but not until we started consuming vast quantities of fossilized fuel, did it reach, a proportion that it, should have never reached. In the last 150 years, if you look, statistically, we've pumped more into the atmosphere since the age of industrialization. So we'll call that 165 years, and we've dumped more into the atmosphere in the last 165 years than we have in the last 2,000, and that's consuming, a lot of resources. But we gave back to the earth at the same time. And the First Nations side of me says, beware the coming storm. And the white man says, anything can happen anytime, so, spend your life preparing, and then it never comes, and, it's all wasted effort, but, is it? I can't call. So this is what my son bought me. It was on a flash sale, March 25th, 26th, 27th, and I think the 28th. I'm not sure, but there was 2 days left, and I said to him, look, man, I'll give you $25 back. Just lend me like $23. He's like, well, what's it for? And I told him that this game was on flash sale. He goes, what's that? And I explained it to him. Like, you know, sometimes you just check it and games will be like, you know, like this was normally $79.99 and it's like $23. So, score. So anyways, that's how I ended up having this. And Rainbow Six Siege, which is a great game. I got a good bunch of people that I enjoy playing with. Bleed You, spelled BLLEEDU, like second word U, just the letter U, capital U, Bleed You. Couldn't tell you what his real name is, but that's his handle, and he's a fucking great guy to play with. You know, has a good sense of humor. You know, he's taught me a lot about the game and shit like that, so, and, when we play, we have good teamwork and shit, and people, you know, kind of know their jobs, know their responsibility, and it's a team. There's no I in team, and I mean, we're all over the United States, and of course I'm the lone Canadian, so I'm the crazy Canadian, you know, and they all make fun of that I'm Canadian, but I take it, and you know, they're just jealous. Most of them are kids half my age, and when they hear me doing that, they ask a lot of questions, and I tell them, I go, oh yeah, that's like purple this, or like ultra that, or like this time it'll be ultra kush, and you know, like I used to grow, so you want it between, you know, the best between 11 and 14%, with the optimal being 13% moisture content by weight, and it burns nicer. It's dry, but it still has that moisture content. Like everything has moisture in it, you know, whether it's dry or not. You know, like salt has moisture content, you know, dried sand, there's still moisture content. But when it gets down below, like, you know, 7%, whatever, like basically, like the marijuana that you get from, the medical marijuana you get from the Canadian government, I think they stretched the percentage-wise, because my buddy's is a lot stronger, and the government's supposed to be like, the stuff that I got was, I think it was 18 or 22%, and there's no fucking way. Like, my buddy's is a lot stronger. Yeah, it's, you know, almost double the price per gram. Like, you get it for like, I think that was like $5 or $7 a gram. Well, I pay $10 a gram, you know, and, you know, like, and it's delivered sometimes, half the time, you know, and it's always fresh, it's always good. He only gets about 3, maybe 4 different strains, and it's always, you know, this consistency. Like, whoever's growing it knows what they're doing. They flush it properly, and it's an enjoyable smoke. It's you know, it's what I call a fine marijuana. It's not just some swag, and it's definitely not Mexican brickweed. That's like fucking garbage. No offense to the cartels or anything. I just think that your weed sucks. You gotta take the idea that the Canadians have. And I mean, in parts of Mexico, you've got the perfect climate, just like in Canada, where it's cool but bright. That's what it needs. You know, it doesn't need heat. Heat doesn't make good marijuana. Bright sunshine, lots of the right kind of birds, lots of airflow. You know, that's the kind of shit you need. And temperate, like it can withstand, you know, certain cold temperatures that a lot of plants cannot withstand. And that's what makes it so versatile. It's like the Papaver somniferum, which is the opium poppy. That's why it grows so well in northern Afghanistan, Iran, certain areas of northern Ontario and British Columbia, you know, to name but a few. It's the climate, you know. People used to associate that, marijuana had to come from the islands to be any good, and, you know, that's just not true. A good sativa will, you know, flourish in the jungle, but an indica, no, not so much. That's a cold weather. It's like cold weather. It's like ruderalis. You know, ruderalis is, you know, considered by some to be garbage weed, but I've actually smoked some good ruderalis that was crossed with a nice hybrid indica, which was I think it was 30% sativa, 70% indica, and they back crossed that with the ruderalis and developed a good F5, and it was pretty productive, you know, and it didn't get, you know, the buds it got were sparse, but they were good. It was quality. And that's the shit that you grow in, that you find in, like, you know, up in Athabasca and shit like that, like, you know, cold climate, like Alaska, you know, Siberia, etc. Like, you know, some of the most powerful marijuana, because the growing season is so short, you know, you have a very certain window of opportunity, and either you take advantage of it, or it's gone, you know. I mean, when you have virtually 24 hours of daylight, you know, like a plant can grow like phenomenally in those climates, and you know, like they have this, it's called Athabasca thunderfly. They call it thunderstick or something now, but the actual name is Athabasca thunderfly. And I've smoked some real Athabasca thunderfly, not this new politically friendly one. You know, this one is a real deal, and knocked me on my ass. And like I said, you know, like I've smoked from all across the planet, with Cambodian still being one of my top. I don't care what anybody says, man. That Cambodian shit just, holy fuck, it knocks you on your noodle. And I had this black hash that it was black opium they call stripe. They used, I don't know even if you can get anymore. But it had opium stripes to it. And like raw opium. And raw opium contains 10% natural morphine. And most people don't know. Because they don't understand opiates, which is what pisses me off. People fuck with shit that they don't. They got no idea what they're messing with. I mean, I've been an opiate user for like 35 years, and I've never injected heroin. I've smoked it once. Just check it out. Maybe twice. And it was interesting, and you know, I used to milk my own poppies, because all poppies grow the alkaloid. Just that half bar somnissal or the opium poppy produces huge, massive quantities of the alkaloid, and hence is the one that they use most for the production of heroin and raw opium. Anyways, yeah, I used to grow all kinds of different poppies in my garden, and I'd milk them all. And I ended up with about, I'd say a good half a gram. Like you milk it, and this white substance, that's the alkaloids, come out, and you just let it sit, and with the reaction of the oxygen in the air, it oxidizes, and as it oxidizes, it transmogrifies, as I like to say, into a substance we know as opium, and it's thick, black, viscous shit, and you scrape it off. The easiest way to collect it is, I had a black fly, and I would collect it on the fly, and then when I collected enough, I would heat it and melt it off, and run that on a paper, and then mix that with a bit of marijuana and smoke it. And it was just like, like, you know, you gotta like opiates. And it's unlike anything if you've never done opium, like natural opium. You know, it's something I think everybody should, you know, if you're open-minded, I think everybody should experience one. It's the warmth, it's easy to understand why it's so abused, but it's the forms that they abuse it in, like, you know, like Percocet. Good sleep will be a fucking kidney, man. And doctors just prescribing it. When they're better off prescribing oxycodone or hydrocodone. You know, hydrocodone's a little stronger, but, you know, it doesn't have the side effects that, like, most codeine-based medicines do, which is ulcers. Like somebody's fucking hammered a plug up your ass, you get so fucking constipated. Which is why it personally was not a drug of choice for me. I didn't mind oxycodone, you know, but yeah, I had my doctor put me on OxyContin for a while, but then the government delisted it because all the fucking junkies. So we had to find something comparable, and as it turns out, he did, but it was a substance 200 times stronger, like, And I could never figure that out. You wouldn't let me have OxyContin, but you'll allow me to have basically, heroin. It's, dihydromorphone is heroin, and I'm taking hydromorphone. It doesn't take a fucking chemist to figure out that there isn't really much difference between the two. One chain on the molecule. That's it. So it's what they call hospital heroin. And yes, I am dependent on it. And if I didn't have it, I would go through the same withdrawal that any drug addict would. However, like I said the other night when I was playing, in life, I used to work for the guy who always said, when we were working in heights, hanging steel or laying over a punch press, whatever. He said, you want me to be your mentor, that's fine, but you gotta pay attention. He said, what did I do when I first came up? And I said, looked around. He said, do you know why? And I said, well, see what's, out and about type of, like checking out your surroundings. He said, well, you're half right. He said, basically, I'm looking for an out. Like, if I gotta jump, who am I fucking landing on? He said, and if you get in my way, I'll push you. And I respected him for that, And ever since then, that's been my life's, one of my life's credos is, always have an exit plan. Have a plan B. And I do. gotta phone my son. I'll be back.